My name is Johnny Hernandez from Senior Planet San Antonio. So thank you so much for being here, everyone. I didn't get a chance to see how many people we have in today's presentation. And thank you again, Tracy. Let's give Tracy a round of applause. I think she might have to go. Thank you so much. So yeah, stick around for the next half hour. We're going to talk about Facebook Marketplace. All right. So I'm going to go ahead and share my screen and start with our slide presentation first. And then we'll actually take you to the a Facebook account we have set up on a through a web browser. So we're going to be demonstrating Facebook Marketplace from a laptop computer. Now, that doesn't mean you can't use Facebook Marketplace from your Facebook app on your mobile devices. You very well can. But a lot of the screenshots you'll be seeing in today's presentation will be based from using Facebook Marketplace through the web browser. So let me make a couple of adjustments here, and then we'll begin. All right, just to give you a quick overview or a list of objectives for today's workshop, we're going to go over the main points the main basic features of Facebook Marketplace. We'll review those features. We'll explore an actual listing, something that somebody is selling in your area. We'll show you how to create a listing yourself. So if you have things that you want to take pictures of and list and post on Facebook Marketplace to sell, we'll show you how to go about the steps of doing that. We'll talk about tips for selling, especially when it comes to those so safety tips that everyone should adhere by. And then we'll talk about how to manage your listing once something is sold, what you can do then, or if it's not being sold, how you can increase maybe visibility of your item. So yeah, and increase the chance of it getting sold to somebody else on Facebook. All right, so let's first talk about the main features. One definite requirement is that you do have to have a Facebook account to use Facebook Marketplace. So once you have created that account, then of course you have access to Facebook Marketplace. There's a way where you can, or it'll pick up your location so you can find things that are sold within a certain radius of where you live from, people that live in your area. So we do want to remind you of a few things. The listings that are on Facebook Marketplace are default and set to public. So that means anyone on Facebook can see your listing. Now, there's a way where you can hide it from your friends. We'll show you how to do that in case you're selling something that you don't really want all your friends to know that you're selling or what have you. Maybe it's a gift that you're sort of reselling that somebody gave you, one of your Facebook friends. So anyway, but they are listed as public. So that means anybody, whether they follow you or whether you're friends on Facebook, can see what is being sold. All the listings on Facebook Marketplace work that way. Okay, so it is also not just used by individual Facebook users, but also by businesses that sell and advertise products of their own. So sometimes you'll see listings that are called sponsored listings, meaning it's coming and being sold from some sort of business or organization, a company of some kind, rather than an individual Facebook user. Okay, but there's ways you could browse listings of items that are for sale in your area, as I mentioned. Anyone who uses Facebook Marketplace through their Facebook account can create a listing to sell an item. And there is a great way where you can rate other buyers and sellers as well. So there is that sort of that rating that you find, that rating system you'll find on Amazon or eBay or Etsy or any of the other online shopping sites that we all can take advantage of. All right. So what I'm going to do before we continue is show you a few things before we continue on about creating a listing. I'm going to actually take you to the Facebook account I have opened up here. This is, of course, again, the view from a laptop computer, right? So when you're signed into your Facebook account, it'll look something similar to this. Over on the left-hand side is where you'll find Marketplace, okay? And usually the icon associated with it is a little blue house. So if you're looking at the left side of my screen, you'll see that just maybe about 4 items down is the Marketplace. If you don't see it right away, though, you're going to want to click on See More. If you notice at the bottom of my list here, there's a little downward arrow. You can click there, and then you might have to scroll through these other different Facebook apps and what have you until you find Marketplace. I happen to find it sort of close to the top of the list. I'm going to click on it now. But you'll notice that across the top here, when you're on Facebook on a desktop or laptop computer, you might see these icons as well. And there is the little house icon associated with Marketplace. So you can click there to get to Marketplace or from the menu listing on the left-hand side. Once you get to Facebook Marketplace, there's a few things that we want to point out. Um, you'll know you're there because the little house is, or the little storefront, I guess I should call it, not a house, is highlighted in blue rather than the house that takes you back to your homepage. So right underneath the marketplace, sort of the marketplace logo, you'll see a search bar. Over to the right, taking up most of the screen, you'll see what they call today's picks. It's just a random selection of things that are being sold in your area. And you'll know that it's in your area because in the upper right-hand corner, you'll see where you can change that area. So right now, these listings are showing, are being shown from within 5 miles of San Antonio, or San Antonio and 5 miles outside of San Antonio. You can click there if you wanted to and change your location. You can increase the radius by clicking on the downward. So maybe you want to, maybe you don't mind traveling a little further outside your city, you can increase the radius, or just change the location altogether. If maybe you're in another city and you're wanting to shop for something on Facebook Marketplace while you're there. Okay. Again, over to the left-hand side of the screen here. You'll see a few different things where you can just browse all items. You can search for specific items, right? If you're searching for something specific, you can type it in there. This is for notifications. If you are selling something on Facebook Marketplace, you might want to make sure that your notifications are activated so you'll know when you get messages. I don't have anything in my Facebook Marketplace notifications right now because I don't have anything for sale. I haven't been communicating with anybody, but this is where you would see messages sent to you from in the inbox. You would see messages sent to you from potential buyers. Here you see some messages here in my little history list of messages, but no new notifications when you click on notifications. And then we're going to go over buying and selling here in just a minute. Let me go back to the beginning, or the front page, I guess you can call it, of Facebook Marketplace. So to sort of demonstrate what a listing looks like, I'm going to kind of scroll through this list of different items. Looks like we have a lot of furniture here. Do note that Facebook users sell all sorts of items. There are all sorts of categories that you can shop through when it comes to when you're buying something on Facebook or when you're selling. We'll show you how to choose different categories to sell your items. Sometimes your today's picks might be dependent on maybe what you last shopped for on Facebook Marketplace. So you can just go through and you'll notice a few things like obviously the price of the item. Let's say this wooden table, we're interested in that. You'll see the price, the title of what this is, and at least one picture of that item. And you'll see that it's in San Antonio, Texas. Sometimes you'll see here, instead of it saying it's in San Antonio, Texas, you might see something that says sponsored. And I'm going to see if I can find something when I show you how to do a search for a specific item. Let's say you were interested in this wooden table, expandable table for 30 bucks. All right. What you'll see first is, and let me move my zoom controls here. What I want to point out to you is you'll see the number of pictures. It looks like this particular item only has one picture to it. Let me exit out of this one and let you know that it's actually a better idea to shop for something that has multiple pictures, a good description. We'll show you how to check the reviews of the Facebook seller and things like that. So let me see if this area okay, there we go. At least we have two pictures here. So not much better. What I like to do when I'm shopping for something on Facebook Marketplace, or let's say I'm doing some research to see what my item might sell for, I'm going to go to Facebook Marketplace, look for a few different similar items as to the one I'm selling, check to see how many pictures, what kind of pictures they included, and so on before I create my listing. We'll talk more about that when we talk about creating a listing. Okay, so you can toggle through the photos by clicking on the little arrows you see on either side of the main photo. And in this case, as I mentioned, it only has 2 photos, but you'll notice down here there are little thumbnails of the photos too that you can click on. And if it had more photos, you would see a lot more photos in this little row down at the bottom. And you can just toggle through all of the photos one by one. Over to the right-hand side, you'll see, again, the title, the price, how long ago maybe it was listed and in what location. There are a few icons here that you'll see, we'll talk about here momentarily. It has some details, like the condition is a used good, area rug, color, and a little bit of a description. Now, sometimes you'll come across items that have a nice lengthy description. Let's see if we could find one. Sometimes you might not, but this one at least has more pictures. When you're taking pictures of something that you're selling, it's always a good idea to take as many pictures as you can of it. Good lighting is always important. If there's any blemishes on the item, you want to make note of that in your photographs. And if you're wondering, well, how many photographs can I post on one listing of something that I'm selling? I think it's up to 10 photos and one video. So what sometimes people do is they'll include a video of the item they're selling, especially if it's something that has movable parts, perhaps, that's not a bad idea, or something that makes sound, maybe a musical instrument or something. It's not a bad idea to include a video as well. So the buyer can see and hear what that thing sounds like, and what it does, right? Okay, so the description usually is right underneath the condition of the item. It shows you an approximate location of where this person lives, where this item is being sold, but it won't ever really show you an exact, for safety and privacy reasons, an exact address. That is not shared until you make the agreement to buy this item, or your buyer, if you're selling something, makes the agreement to buy it from you, and then you exchange the information. And we'll talk about, safety tips here in a little bit. You can also see who is selling this, okay? So if I hover my mouse over Gloria Venegas's name here, I see that she joined Facebook back in 2014. I will tell you a good red flag of somebody who is maybe just trying to pull a scam on Facebook Marketplace is if they joined Facebook this year, joined Facebook in 2024. Facebook has been around for a long time. And if you've been a Facebook user, you probably have an account, have had an account for many years. Maybe maybe the person's new. So I would give it, maybe a year or two, but you can always click on the person's name to view their profile, okay? Oftentimes, if it's somebody that says they joined Facebook this year, you won't see pictures of friends and families post. It'll just be, like there'll be no profile picture and no background photo. So you know that it's probably a Facebook user who's just creating a listing on Facebook Marketplace to try to pull scams. So that's one red flag to look out for. We'll talk about a little bit more here in a minute. You can click on seller details if you want to find out more about the seller. And it sort of takes you to not necessarily their Facebook profile, but a Facebook Marketplace profile. However, you can still access their profile if you want to find more about them. All right. So these are other listings that seller has listed. Okay. I don't see any reviews, but oftentimes you will see the little 5-star, icons you mostly see when it comes to reviewing products and buyers and sellers. You'll see that located down here where you can read what other buyers of this person have said about the items that they've listed. Okay, so let's go back to our listed item. This we'll just go with this dresser of drawers. Or it looks like a buffet table, maybe, I don't know. You can message the seller too. So if you have questions, you're interested in buying this item, there usually is, sorry about that. There usually is at the bottom right-hand corner, you'll notice a sort of defaulted question. You can just click on send and send to that person via Facebook Messenger. In this case, it says, "Hi, Gloria, is this still available?" Read the description, because in my experience, I know a lot of sellers, in order for them to avoid buyer scams, so as a seller, you should be aware of, who is inquiring about your item to be sold, right, to be bought. So some sellers say, don't send me that automated question, I won't respond to it. So read the description, of course, not just for the description of the item being sold and any blemishes it may include, or to learn more about that product, but also to learn more about the seller's wishes. If he or she doesn't want you to send this generic, defaulted question, then customize it. What I do is I'll leave that there and I'll add to it, and I'll say, instead of just saying, "Hi, Gloria, is this still available?" I'll say something like, is your price negotiable? or, maybe something like, are there any other, scratches on that that I didn't see? Whatever, a detailed question. So that seller will know that you're a real person asking, you know, truly inquiring about buying this piece of furniture. All right, so then you could just send the message there. Let's go back really quick to, we're going to talk about creating a listing now. So we went over the main features, how to access Facebook Marketplace. Remember, just look for the Marketplace title and icon amongst your menu on the left-hand side of your screen. We went over exploring a listing, right, where you can message the seller, find out more information. If they have reviews from their previous buyers, then you'll see that there, as I mentioned, and as you see in the screenshot here. But now when it comes to creating a listing for yourself, so you have something that you, or maybe a collection of things that you gathered while you were decluttering your home, and now, and you feel that they may be worth something, or you were told that it may be worth your time to sell them. Well, this is where you would begin to create a listing. Let's go back to Facebook Marketplace site, and on the left-hand side, you'll see create a new listing, okay? You're gonna click there. There's a blue plus sign next to it, so it's pretty obvious where to click to start. Now, you're going to be given a few different categories of things that you can sell. Believe it or not, people do sell homes and cars on Facebook Marketplace. You can create multiple listings. If you're somebody who's going to be selling lots of different things, then you can create multiple listings. But click there, learn more, and see what requirements are needed. But just to sell one item, sort of just a one-time thing, you can create a single listing for one or more items to sell. And you can just do this over and over. So you have 5 different things. You could put 5 different postings up or listings. So I'm going to click on the item for sale icon there. And the first thing you're going to want to do, excuse me, if you'll notice, okay, so right in the middle of this screen, the larger portion of my screen, you'll see a sort of a preview of what you're building as far as when it comes to this listing. What you first want to do is on the left-hand side, you're going to see where you can add a photo. All right, so you're going to click on this little plus sign, add photo, or drag and drop photo here, icon here, okay? So I'm going to click there. What it'll do is it'll take you to wherever you have photos saved on that device, on that computer you're on. So I'm going to go, I was already in my saved pictures. So let's say you'll see some photos of drums and things. I play a lot of drums. Some of you might know me from the drum circle we have every once a month here at Senior Planet. Let's say I would never do this, but let's say I'm going to sell a drum set, okay? Let me see. Yeah, let's just go with that. Oh, I know, actually, I'm going to do this. Let's say, because I actually did have this posted on Facebook Marketplace one time, I'm going to sell this children's bicycle, okay? I no longer need it. The youngster in my family has grown and has moved on, and so this is no longer needed. It's been in my shed for a while, so I'm thinking I could maybe get 30 bucks for it, perhaps, because I went and did some research of what other children's bikes this size, this style go for. And remember what Tracy said, go with the sold price rather than the listing price. Sometimes people will list their item at a much higher price and then negotiate with that buyer and end up selling at a much lower price. So always go with the sold price. Like on eBay, you don't want to go with what people are bidding, just rather, the end result and what it actually got sold for. So to add a picture, you're going to highlight the picture there. On your keyboard, you can hit the control, or I think on a Mac, it's a command. You can hit control and highlight multiple pictures at a time so that you can upload them all at once rather than just doing it one at a time. So I'm going to highlight all of those photos there, and you'll see them uploading here to the left-hand side. Usually the first photo that you upload, it will be your cover photo. Okay, it will be the first photo that somebody will see when they find your listing on Facebook. Okay, so there is that, and then you can just kind of, if you decide not to use a certain photo, there's always a little X you can delete or click on to delete that photo from your listing. Okay, so that's just the beginning. Now, at any time, if you're working on this and let's say, you need to get up from your computer to take care of something, make dinner, or grab a phone call, you can always save this to your and click on Save Draft. You'll see it right up here, sort of on the left-hand side of your screen. Save Draft in blue is where you will click, and it'll save it as a draft to your Facebook Marketplace, well, to your Facebook account. I'll show you where you would be able to go when to find that to continue working on that listing. So the next thing you're going to want to do, and let me move this here. Okay. All right, so we've added our photos. There is even a way you can upload photos directly from your phone. So what you're going to do next is create a title. Now, you always want to be as descriptive as possible when creating a title, because that's the first thing somebody's going to read and see when they come across your listing. You want to make it sort of grab their attention, right? Especially if they're looking for something like this. So rather than just putting bike or children's bike, you can maybe use the brand name of it. And I think this was a and be specific with that. This was a Kent, and I think it was a 18-inch. I'm going to put BMX bike with training wheels, because it's obviously got training wheels in the picture and somebody might be looking for that. So you'll notice in the preview section, it starts to sort of populate what you're typing over here on the left-hand side. As far as price, again, do a little bit of research, see what this item is going for elsewhere. You can even go to other sites, not just Facebook Marketplace, Craigslist, any of those places, eBay, and enter the price that you find would be most competitive, right, to what other people are selling these bikes for. I think I had it listed at $45 at first, knowing that I can go down. I'm okay going down if somebody was interested. I didn't get too many hits, unfortunately, so I lowered it to 30, and then I had it there for about a week. It hasn't sold yet. I think I removed it just for the time being, and just for now. And I'll probably relist it later. So but let's just go ahead and put $30. You don't need the dollar sign. It kind of populates for you. And then here's where you would list it in a certain category if you like. If you click on the downward arrow, it'll show you all the different categories. And look at all of these: antique and collectibles, arts and crafts, auto parts, baby products, books, movies, and music. Many of you were talking about trying to get rid of hardback books or 1973 Britannicas, encyclopedias. I know collectors out there that probably do search through Craigslist and Facebook and eBay for things like that. I know some people who would still love to have a set of encyclopedias just as a display, of something nostalgic in their living room. So anyway, just food for thought for you guys who are looking for getting rid of stuff like that. There's even cell phone accessory categories. So just go ahead and select the category you think your item would best fit in. And in this case, let's see. I would maybe pick either toys or games, or perhaps I think I saw. I don't see bicycles, sporting equipment, maybe. So it really all just depends. I think I did see. Go back over here. Bicycle accessories. So sure, why not? Okay, and then just for demonstration purpose, pick the category that best fits your product or your for sale item. Then you're going to want to let them know what kind of condition is this in, is it new, used like new, used good, or used fair? I'm going to put, I guess I'll put used good, or maybe I should put used fair because I see it's missing a couple of, or handle grip, and, tires probably need air, and chain needs to be oiled. And then you have an area for your description. Okay, so you can add, and remember, be as descriptive as you can when creating your listing. People want to read as much as, or get to know as much of the product as they can through your photographs and your description there. So to save time, I'm going to skip through that and just wanted to let you know where to enter that information. Then there's more details you can add, like color, what the bike is made out of. If there's a SKU number, if you're selling like a new product out of the box, and you can include a SKU number. People might want to do some comparison, online comparison pricing, if they're interested in buying your item. All right, we're going to talk about managing your listing in a minute. Just wanted to go over a few of the steps on how to create a listing. Once you do have everything created, then you'll see where you can click. If I went through all the steps, This next button that you see right now in this gray shaded area in the bottom left-hand screen, bottom left-hand corner of my screen, will turn blue and you'll click on next all the way until you finally finish the last step where you'll see the button that says publish. That will then publish your listing on Facebook Marketplace for all to see. Okay, I do want to talk about a few things though before we run out of time. So we have a few more minutes left. So we're going to go past, well, we talked about creating a listing and some of the different things. One thing I didn't mention, folks, really quick, is that you can create a listing to be posted in, you know, just the general Facebook Marketplace newsfeed, or you can choose, if you didn't choose to hide your listing from your friends on Facebook, if it's public, then you can choose to list your item in different Facebook groups. Maybe you're in a, you know, like a neighborhood, you know, group on Facebook and for your neighborhood, and you often see, you know, children's toys for sale. Maybe that would be a good place to post it. So there is a, and you'll see once once you go through all the steps, you click on next, you'll see where you'll give you the opportunity to you know, post it in a group that you already are a part of. You can join that group and then start posting things for sale there. That way everybody in that group, you know, like for instance, if I'm selling some drum equipment, I would post it in one of the groups that I'm a part of that has something to do with drums. So just to get more potential buyers out there for you. And then you would click on publish, as I mentioned earlier. Now, tips for selling. This is what I wanted to go over. It's very, other than, you know, what we discussed, using a detailed title and description, using good quality photos, being honest and responsive. Being responsive means if your potential buyer reaches out to you, sends you a message through Facebook Messenger, then, you know, respond to them as quickly as you can. It would be a red flag for a potential buyer if a seller takes too long to respond to them. They'll just move on and think that it's just a scam. So remember that when you are a buyer of something on Facebook Marketplace. Being honest means, you know, take pictures of everything and write everything down in that description or type it all in if it has something that's broken on it, or if there's a scratch here or a dent or what have you. Set a realistic and competitive prices we mentioned, you know, do some research, look for those sold prices. Check the buyer's ratings and reviews. So just like a buyer can see the reviews of a seller when you are selling on Facebook Marketplace and see if you've been responsive and if you ship the stuff out, or, you know, met up with a person, and, you know, you get reviews, but also buyers get reviews. So if you have someone contacting you through Facebook Marketplace, through Facebook Messenger, I should say, who is interested in buying your children's bike, take a look at them, make sure that they haven't gotten any bad reviews from other sellers. And then when it comes to following safe meetup guidelines, we're going to talk more about that in the workshop we're going to have on Thursday. And we even have lectures like intro to selling online, I think it's called, where we share a lot of resources. But yeah, choose a public place. Do the exchange of the item you're selling and the money you're going to receive in the daylight, right? Take somebody with you. Take a cell phone with you. If you don't have anybody to go with you, take a cell phone with you and let people know where you're going to be. That's always a good idea. Oftentimes, police substations will let you meet that individual there to make that sale. So inquire about that, and, you know, amongst all of your community resources. What I do whenever I sell online through Facebook Marketplace or Craigslist or something is, yeah, I'll choose a public place. There's a YMCA nearby, a grocery store nearby that I'll go to. And of course, yeah, I'll have somebody with me, or somebody always knows, that I'm going to meet with somebody. Now, if you're selling something on Facebook Marketplace that can't be taken to that person in a neutral public spot that you meet them with, or, where you guys meet up, they have to come to your home. There are some tips we'd like to share with you about that, as far as, yeah, make sure you're not home alone. Never invite anybody into their house, even if they have to use the bathroom. It's okay, just deny that request. Make sure that, like if it's a big item, make sure that item is already out of your home, if it's possible for you to do that, or out of your garage. You just want to give that person as least, access to any of your private business, right? So there are lots of different tips that we'll go over as well, since we're running out of time. However, when it comes to managing your listing, really quick, it's important to mark things that are sold as sold so that people won't keep trying to contact you to buy that item. You can just delete the item once it is sold. And in the same area that I showed you earlier, where you go to your notifications inbox, you'll go to selling, and this will give you all the list of things that you've sold or are currently selling. Buying will give you a list of all the things that you're buying, or maybe, things you've saved to your wish list, and so on. All right. Thank you so much, everybody.